What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to be checking out some battles here with a very strong team made by FPSticks a while back. That is going to be Jellicent, Alolan Ninetales, and Vigoroth. Now you guys may be wondering where I have been. I decided to take a couple days off. I think for the past 2 years of creating non-stop Pokemon Go PvP content, whether that was Silph Arena or Go Battle League, I haven't really had a break, especially like a week-long break. So I decided to take this midweek off, basically like 5 days. So we're getting back into it here. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm back. Thank you all for the support. And let's go ahead and get right into these battles. All right, getting into this first battle here, we have Jellicent on the lead versus Ferrothorn. A terrible matchup right here. So we're going to go ahead and swap straight into Vigoroth. Vigoroth is utilized as a safe swap on this team. And what's great about Vigoroth is even some really hard counters here like a Machamp, you can still put huge shield pressure back because Body Slam just does so much neutral damage in a lot of these matchups. So we're going to go ahead and shield as well. I think I can get to another Body Slam, which will either potentially flip the matchup for me or get 2 shields, both of which I think is a good scenario right here. So we're going to go ahead and throw this Body Slam. We do get the second shield, which is perfect, and they are going to be able to farm us down. So now we have a 1-0 shield, which is really nice for us endgame, especially with Alolan Ninetales and energy on Jellicent. So we're going to go ahead and come in and farm down. Now, they threw the charge move right away, which tells me this is just going to be Rock Slide. If they built up a bit more, I would have considered shielding a potential payback. So we're going to go ahead and just farm down with Hex. We'll let this next charge move go through. Even if it is Rock Slide for neutral damage, we're going to go ahead and let it go. But it's just going to be a cross chop, which is fine. We are now absolutely loaded on energy to come back into this Ferrothorn matchup into 1-0 shield with huge maxed out energy advantage. So we're going to go ahead and go for Shadow Balls right here. And this is going to do a lot of neutral damage, as you guys can see. They cannot survive another one, so they have to swap to Altaria, which is perfect. We have a counter in the back for that, so we're just going to go ahead and throw the Weather Ball right away. This is going to be taking out the Altaria, and then we can do neutral damage to that Ferrothorn here because of that Steel Grass typing, and that is basically going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. So again, looking to get myself shield advantage, hard farm for energy advantage. We're able to win that first one. All right. Moving into this next battle, we have Jellicent on the lead versus Shadow Hypno. A pretty good matchup right here, but what's great about Shadow Hypno as well is Confusion and Thunder Punch are going to be doing so much damage. So what we're going to do here is we're going to build up to Shadow Ball. They do get to the Thunder Punch in time, so we're going to go ahead and shield this first one. And then what we're going to look to do is go for a Bubble Beam first and then go for a Shadow Ball. It's okay for them to potentially shield this first one because they don't want to get caught no shielding a Shadow Ball, right? So they do decide to shield, and then we're going to go ahead and throw the Shadow Ball right away right here to put pressure on them to have to shield. We want to get 2 shields out of here because Vigoroth and Alolan Ninetales can sweep, and we do get that second shield, which is perfect. So we're going to go ahead and let this charge move go through. We don't need to win this lead matchup at all. What we can do is come in with Alolan Ninetales and basically go for a Weather Ball right away and have a 1-0 shield advantage against their backline. And considering that they're leading with Shadow Hypno, they might have Darks in the back, which means Vigoroth and Alolan Ninetales both perform really well. So we're going to go ahead and throw this Weather Ball at the time that this Hypno would be getting to a Thunder Punch or potentially Fire Punch. And we do take it out, which is perfect. And we are going to see a Nidoqueen come in. So Nidoqueen being that new poison type Pokemon that we do see in the meta because of the buff to Poison Fang and the buff to Poison Jab. So we're going to go ahead and swap right away. I don't want to stay in that matchup, and we do see a Shadow Politoed come in, which is fine by me. Body Slams, again, this is just showing how strong Vigoroth can be in the Great League meta. Body Slams just do so much neutral damage. We can survive a Weather Ball as well, so we don't need to shield. We're going to save that for the Alolan Ninetales. So we're going to go ahead and tank this Weather Ball just fine. Get to that next Body Slam right here. And that is basically going to be a good game. Very well played. There's not a lot my opponent can do right here. And this is why with this team, you always want to be having shield advantage potentially unless a crazy strat comes out, which we'll see later on, where you actually want a ton of energy in all 3 Pokemon. So we're going to go ahead and shield right here, go for the Body Slam, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played to my opponent. So just because Jellicent has a favorable matchup against that Hypno doesn't mean you have to win it right there. As we saw, we came in with the Alolan Ninetales farmed up a bit, and we're able to sweep endgame. Alright, moving into this next battle, we have Jellicent on the lead versus Stunfisk. Very common lead you guys will see, and it's a pretty decent matchup for us. What we're going to be doing is go for those Bubble Beams to lower the attack. They are deciding to throw a charge move right away. This was only 5, which means it's going to be Rock Slide. I don't need to shield. It doesn't hurt too much, and that's perfectly fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and build up to Shadow Ball. And now start going for Bubble Beams. Bubble Beam is going to be doing super effective damage and lowering the attack there. And we're going to go ahead and swap now into Vigoroth, get ahead on energy, and they're deciding to stay in. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep loading up. Now this was built up to an Earthquake, so we're going to go ahead and shield it. They may not have the best answer for a Vigoroth, which is why they haven't swapped yet, but they do decide to bring in Altaria right here, which is perfectly fine. Again, going to showcase just how strong a Vigoroth safe swap can be in the Great League meta. So we've seen it against Machamp. We're seeing it now against Altaria. It's very, very good. So we're just going to keep going for body slams right here for neutral damage. And because we're so far ahead on energy, we are going to put in huge pressure on this Altaria to have to shield, because they won't be able to get to the charge move, but they do just in time. So this is where we're going to go ahead and double shield right here. Seeing that Altaria was their best answer, I will be able to outpace in charge move, so I could get 2 shields back from my opponent right here. And they may have a weird line of like Galarian, Stunfisk, Altaria, and Bastiodon, which is why I'm deciding to keep the Vigoroth alive. Now they decide to bring in Azumarill right here. So it ended up being a very common meta line of Azumarill, Galarian, Stunfisk, and Altaria, so we'll have to see how this team does. But Vigoroth, again, body slam spam, and they're still not shielding, so I'm going to go ahead and swap into Jellicent, and this is why I said you always want to have shield advantage unless something crazy comes out. And seeing that an Altaria came into Vigoroth with loaded energy maybe gave me a hint that they couldn't handle a Vigoroth in the back right away, so I decided to keep it. And what we're going to do here is we're going to utilize the counters from Vigoroth to chip away more health on the Galarian Stunfisk that is still in the back, and we're going to use Jellicent right here to just try to get shields, lower the attack of the opponent, but they're still not shielding. I mean, to be fair, on their part, I'm not building up to Shadow Ball, which I should be doing, but I knew they're about to get to another play rough right there, and I wanted to get that last Bubble Beam. Now, Galarian Stunfisk does come in, so they just cleared the debuff, so they have 2 shields, a Galarian Stunfisk and an Azumarill. We have no shields. Let's see if we can do this. We're going to go ahead and bring in Vigoroth right here. We're going to go for the Body Slam. Even though this is resisted, they have to start shielding at some point, and this might be enough damage to warrant that, and they do decide to shield, which is fine. So we're going to go ahead and get it low, and now we have a potential win condition right here. Because we got that shield, and because this is energy dry, we are going to be able to come in and farm down. Now, Alolan Ninetales is going to be taking super effective damage from Rock Slides, but it can't one-shot. And what did we know about Azumarill? It just dumped all of its energy as well, and it only has 1 shield, and it's very low on health. So we're going to go ahead and just completely farm down, and I believe my win condition here is to go for double Dazzling Gleam. I can win this race against Azumarill because it is energy dry, and I do have loaded energy, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the Dazzling Gleam. They decide to shield it just fine. All I need to do is beat it to the play rough, and do we get it? Yes, we do. We do get to the Dazzling Gleam in time. This is going to be taking out the Azumarill, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent right there. Alright, moving into this next battle here. Let's see how this one goes. We have Jellicent on the lead versus Medicham. So a very positive lead right here for us, and we are going to see them swap right away into Alolan Ninetales, which is a very unconventional safe swap. So what I have to do right here is let this charge move go. It's either going to be Weather Ball, it's going to be Psyshock. It was way too quick for Dazzling Gleam, and they are going for the Psyshock. So what we're going to do here is build up to Shadow Ball, and then now go for the Bubble Beam right here. I need to lower the attack, and then I can come in with Vigoroth. This Alolan Ninetales as well as energy dry, and we do get a shield, which is perfect. So now we're going to come in with Vigoroth, and then look to basically no shield, go for body slams, and look to try to have some loaded energy on the back end for the Medicham. And they might have their switch clock back in time as well in order to bring back in Medicham, which is also going to be good for us because then we lock in that Medicham for Jellicent to basically load up on energy again. So we are going to see them throw a Powder Snow right here. We're going to go ahead, or not Powder Snow, a Weather Ball. And we're going to go ahead and let that go. Now, this is where Medicham is probably going to come back in, which it does, which means we do get to another Body Slam in time. So this added chip damage is going to be very nice for us. Plus, we're so low right here with Vigoroth that they can't really farm me down for a lot of energy. So now this Medicham is locked in against my Jellicent. So we're going to go ahead and build up to that Shadow Ball right here, and we're going to try to throw it. But they do decide to throw a Charge Move, so I'm going to go ahead and shield. It could be a Psychic, and it's going to be a Power-Up Punch, which is unfortunate, and I did go for the Shadow Ball, so I wish I would have loaded up a bit more, maybe done a better job counting, but I think they did have enough for Psychic right there. So we do land the Shadow Ball, which is good. Alolan Ninetales is low, so it's a 2v1 basically right now. Alolan Ninetales cannot come in and farm me down, and they're going to go ahead and bring it in, so I'm just going to keep loading up on energy right here. And we're going to go ahead and shield the Psyshock. This tells me they may be extremely weak to Jellicent in the back. So they do decide to throw, and they do bring in a Galarian Stunfisk, which is definitely looking very tough. But this is why having Bubble Beam on this roster right here, or on Jellicent with this team, is nice, because we lower that attack and we can bring in Alolan Ninetales right here. So we're going to go ahead and go for Weather Balls. These do neutral damage, and the Rock Slides, even though they do super effective damage, they're going to have to throw multiple of them in order to take us out. So this is going to be a close one. Let's see if we can get to another Weather Ball in time. But Rock Slide is going to be coming through right here. It's not going to be enough to take us out. Can we get to another Weather Ball? We can. I over tap one right there, which is unfortunate, but we do get to the Weather Ball in time, so this is going to force that shield from my opponent. Remember, Alolan Ninetales on the opponent's side is out of energy as well. We don't get to the next one, so hopefully this Rock Slide doesn't take us out, but I think it is going to do enough damage right here. So Galarian Stunfisk is basically out of energy. No, it's not. Sorry. It overloaded right there. It will be throwing another Rock Slide, so we can survive right here. And then they do decide to swap in Alolan Ninetales, which was their mistake. We can farm down, and we can go for Shadow Ball here against the Galarian Stunfisk, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. What I could have potentially done with the Jellicent there is maybe go for double Bubble Beam versus the Galarian Stunfisk, then swap. But yeah, good game to my opponent. Alright, let's go ahead and move in this next one. We got Jellicent on the lead versus Shadow Skarmory. Alright, so this is going to be an interesting matchup right here. We're just going to go for a Shadow Ball basically right away, and they do decide to swap into Scrafty on the charge move, which is a very, very good swap by them, because this is going to be resisted. So now we're going to come in with Alolan Ninetales right here. We're going to load up on energy, and then they're going to go ahead and throw a charge move. I'm going to let this go. We resist the Foul Play, the Power Up Punch. This might be Acid Spray, but no, it's just going to be a Power Up Punch, which is fine. I'm going to look to load up on energy, and now go for a Weather Ball here for neutral damage. So we should be able to win this mid-game pretty decently. It's not enough to take it out, so I'm just going to go ahead and commit to the farm down. I'm not going to shield again as well, which is my mistake right here. Power Up Punch does enough chip damage that with counters, it's actually going to be able to farm me down, and we simultaneously KO. So I made a mistake. I should have shielded that, because I know I would have gotten shields back from Skarmory with so many Weather Balls that I had loaded. So now we're going to bring in the Jellicent. We will see the Skarmory come back in, but now this Skarmory has more energy than me, so we're going to go ahead and go for the Bubble Beam right away just to lower that attack. And we'll have to see what they have in the back. They might have another Dark. I'm considering they swapped with Scrafty, or I'm worried they might have another fighter, maybe like a Shadow Machamp, which will obviously destroy my Vigoroth. So we're going to go ahead and shield right here. It is going to be the Sky Attack, and we're going to try to get to another Bubble Beam in time, which we do. This is going to still put a lot of pressure on the Skarmory. They may want to shield, but let's see what happens. We do get the shield, which is perfect. The attack dropped. They're going to have to throw a charge move right here. We're going to go ahead and let it, or shield, sorry. And it is going to be another Sky Attack. So hopefully I can get to another Bubble Beam in time. We do get to it. So hopefully this can get the shield. We're still dropping that attack here of the Skarmory. Could have just gone straight for the Shadow Ball to take it out, but they do get to the charge move. Now Vigoroth is going to be able to come in and farm down with fast moves. And this is going to be a tight game. We do swap right away, and they have a Diggersby in the back, which is unfortunate right here. So hopefully Body Slam and counter is going to be enough for us. Remember, they do still have a shield, so it's a 1 to 0 shield situation. Earthquake is going to do a lot of neutral damage, and I don't think this is looking too good, because they can get to a Fire Punch, which should be enough neutral damage to take us out. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Body Slam right there. We don't get the shield, but we're going to go ahead and go for another one. This is going to be a tight game. Looking back at this matchup, again, I probably should have gone for Shadow Ball versus the Skarmory just to take it out. But that is basically going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. I won't be able to get to a Bubble Beam in time, I don't think, with Jellicent. Yeah, I'll get fast move down, and that is going to be a good game. They definitely caught the charge move on Scrafty, which was pretty huge. So good game to my opponent right there. Alright, we're moving to this next one. We got Jellicent versus Stunfisk right here. Pretty decent matchup. We do see them swap right away into a Mew, which is very interesting choice. So we're just going to go ahead and build up the Shadow Ball, and now just go for Bubble Beams. Get this thing extremely debuffed right here, which is going to be nice for us, and we do get a shield as well. Now remember, we still have Vigoroth for the Galarian Stunfisk, which is why I'm not really swapping out of this matchup, because I just want to keep going for potential Shadow Balls to one-shot, and they do have Surf, which means they probably have Surf Wild Charge, which is definitely a strong moveset to have here in the Great League. But again, we're just going to keep going for Bubble Beams. We get both shields, which is perfect. We're going to come in with the Alolan Ninetales right now and just load up on energy. Now I did try to throw the Weather Ball right there before they could get to the charge move, but they will be getting to it, and it is going to be a Wild Charge, which actually doesn't do too much damage. And we're going to go ahead and throw this. Now I am going to undercharge it a bit so I can try to farm down the Mew right here with fast moves alone, but they do have another Wild Charge. So we're going to go ahead, and I believe I do let this go, which is going to be fine. We can farm down. We still have a shield. We still have Vigoroth for Galarian Stunfisk. We'll have to see what they decide to come in. So we're going to go ahead and go for these Weather Balls right here. Now I'm concerned what they have in the back. I think it might be another Psychic Pokemon, maybe a Shadow Hypno, but we'll have to see. Or it might be a Flyer as well, maybe like a Pelipper, potentially in the back, considering the Mew safe swap right there. So let's see what they decide to do. They're not swapping out, so I'm going to go ahead and put pressure on them to have to swap out and just get ahead on energy with Vigoroth, especially if maybe they have something like Altaria in the back, or Alolan Ninetales Powder Snows will really come in handy. And they do have a Venusaur actually, which is fine by me. We can go ahead and go for 2 Body Slams, which would be enough neutral damage to take out the Venusaur here. Frenzy Plant as well won't be able to take us out in time, and that is basically going to be a good battle, very well played to my opponent right there. So again, knowing that Vigoroth can do very well against the Galarian Stunfisk, I kept Jellicent in against that Mew just to put Bubble Beam and Shadow Ball pressure, and then come in with that Alolan Ninetales, and that was the final battle. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This team is definitely very, very strong. Again, it was made by FPSticks a while back. I just wanted to give it a try here, and it was definitely really nice. So I hope you guys had a great week, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Looking forward to getting into Ultra League next week. So like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.